Was Napoleon Bonaparte just a military genius, or was he a conqueror of hearts? Who was he really? Born on a modest island in the Mediterranean Corsica on August 15, 1769, Napoleon Bonaparte was far from ordinary. This son of a lawyer was destined for greatness from a young age. His parents, recognizing his sharp intellect, sent him to mainland France for a well-rounded education. Yet, this was a land where he initially felt like an outsider, grappling with the French language and culture. Napoleon's life took a turn when he enrolled in a military academy at just 9 years of age. His relentless dedication and strategic mind led him to rise through the ranks at an astonishing pace. By the age of 24, he was already an army brigadier general, a testament to his exceptional military acumen. However, Napoleon's ambitions didn't stop at military conquests. In 1799, he orchestrated a coup d'état, overthrowing the French government and proclaiming himself as the first consul. 5 years later, in a move that shocked the world, he crowned himself as the Emperor of the French, declaring his rule as hereditary. But who was Napoleon beyond these titles and accomplishments? Was he just a ruthless conqueror, a shrewd politician, or was there more to him? Unbeknownst to many, Napoleon was also a man of deep passions and profound relationships. His love letters, filled with ardent expressions of affection, reveal a side of him that history often overlooks. Napoleon's life was a rich tapestry of military triumphs, political maneuvers, and an intense romantic life. He was a man of great contrasts, a leader who inspired both awe and fear, a lover who penned passionate letters, and an emperor who dreamt of a united Europe. Napoleon was more than just a military genius. He was a complex figure whose life was filled with victories, defeats, and a surprising amount of romance. Napoleon's military genius was evident from the start of his career. And that's no exaggeration. His early military career was marked by a series of victories that truly showcased his strategic prowess. Let's take a look at one of his initial triumphs, the Siege of Toulon in 1793. A young Napoleon, just 24 years old at the time, was appointed as the artillery commander of the French forces. A daunting task for someone so young, but this was where Napoleon's tactical brilliance first shone through. He masterminded an attack plan that involved cutting off the city's supply and escape routes, forcing the British forces to evacuate. This victory not only ended the threat to the French Republic, but also earned Napoleon a promotion to brigadier general. Napoleon's ascent through the ranks was nothing short of meteoric. His successful campaigns, tactical acumen, and charismatic leadership style made him a beloved figure among his troops and a respected one among his superiors. By the time he was just 26, he was already leading the French army in Italy, where he recorded a series of victories that further solidified his reputation as a military prodigy. But it wasn't just his strategic brilliance that set him apart. Napoleon was known for his hands-on leadership style. He was often seen on the front lines with his soldiers, sharing their hardships, and personally leading charges. This endeared him to his troops and earned him their unwavering loyalty. Napoleon's military genius was not just about winning battles, it was about understanding the terrain, predicting the enemy's moves and motivating his troops. It was about seeing the bigger picture, making quick decisions under pressure, and having the courage to take calculated risks. But Napoleon's life was not all about warfare. He was also a man of passion. And that's where we'll take this story next, so stick around as we delve into the personal life of this fascinating historical figure, exploring his romances and the captivating relationships that shaped him. Napoleon was a man in love, not just with power but with women. Often when we think about Napoleon Bonaparte, our minds immediately conjure images of a military genius, a man of power, a conqueror. But behind the scenes of those battlefields and political maneuvers, Napoleon was also a man deeply entangled in the web of romantic love. His first marriage was with Josephine de Beauharnais, a woman of striking beauty and charm. Their relationship was a whirlwind of passion and intensity. Napoleon fell deeply in love with Josephine, his feelings for her evident in the numerous love letters he penned. In one such letter he wrote, "Since I left you, I have been constantly depressed. My happiness is to be near you. Incessantly I live over in my memory your caresses, your tears, your affectionate solicitude." Such tenderness, such depth of emotion, it's a side of Napoleon that's often hidden behind his military uniform. However, Napoleon's love life was not confined to his marriage with Josephine. His position of power and charismatic personality attracted numerous women, leading to several affairs. Some were fleeting, others more enduring, but all played a part in shaping the man he was. From Polish noblewoman Maria Walewska to the young and beautiful actress Marguerite Georges, These affairs added another layer to his already complex persona. Despite his numerous affairs, Napoleon's love for Josephine never truly faded. Even after their divorce, in a letter to her he wrote, "I have not spent a day without loving you. I have not spent a night without embracing you. I have not so much as drunk a single cup of tea without cursing the pride and ambition that forced me to remain separated from the moving spirit of my life." Napoleon's romantic exploits showed a side of him that was often overshadowed by his military prowess. His love affairs and the passion that fueled them remind us that he was not just a military genius or a powerful ruler, but also a man capable of deep and passionate love. Napoleon's reign as emperor was marked by war, but also by a deep love for his empire. As emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte, the Corsican soldier turned French leader, showed a profound love for his empire and its people. This affection was expressed not only through his military conquests but also through his myriad reforms that touched every aspect of French life. Napoleon's rule was transformative, to say the least. His achievements were many and varied, but a few stand out for their lasting impact. The Napoleonic Code, for instance, was a comprehensive set of civil laws that served to modernize French administration. It provided the legal backbone for France and many other nations, promoting equality before the law and safeguarding civil liberties. In the realm of education, Napoleon established a system of public education, laying the foundation for the lycée or secondary schools that still exist today. He also founded the University of France, ensuring that education was accessible to more than just the privileged few. Beyond these tangible achievements, Napoleon's reign was characterized by a deep and abiding love for France and its people. This love was evident in his tireless efforts to improve the lives of his subjects, whether through infrastructure projects, legal reforms, or advancements in education and culture. However, Napoleon's reign was not without its challenges. He was a ruler constantly at war, defending his empire from the combined forces of Europe. Yet, even amidst the tumult of battle, Napoleon's love for his empire never wavered. He was often quoted saying, "I love my people and I want them to know it." His reforms, though sometimes controversial, were driven by a desire to create an empire that was strong, unified, and prosperous. He sought to build a France that was a beacon of enlightenment and progress in a world often mired in conflict and inequality. But even as emperor, Napoleon's heart was often elsewhere. Despite his deep love for his empire and his unwavering dedication to its prosperity, Napoleon was a man of many passions. As we will see in the next scene, his heart often strayed, leading him down paths of personal turmoil and romantic intrigue. In his later life, Napoleon's personal and political lives became increasingly intertwined. His second marriage to the young Austrian Archduchess Marie-Louise marked a pivotal moment in his life and reign. This union was not just a matter of the heart, but a strategic move to ensure an heir and solidify an alliance with Austria. Marie-Louise, just 18 at the time of their marriage, was initially repelled by the idea of marrying the French emperor. However, over time, she grew fond of Napoleon. Their union bore fruit in the form of a son, Napoleon Francois Joseph Charles Bonaparte, also known as the King of Rome. Napoleon's joy at finally having a legitimate heir was immeasurable. He had a son to carry on his legacy, a dream he had long cherished. But as they say, every rose has its thorn. This period of happiness was short-lived. Napoleon's continuous wars across Europe had begun to take their toll. His grand empire was slowly crumbling. His allies were turning against him, and his enemies were closing in. The Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations, was a crushing defeat. Napoleon was forced to abdicate the throne and was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean. In exile, Napoleon was separated from his beloved wife and son. The letters he wrote during this period reveal a man who yearned not just for his homeland, but for his family. He wrote to Marie-Louise, "I am alone, without a friend. I spend my days in thinking of you and of our dear child." His longing for his family was as profound as his longing for his lost empire. His exile was not the end of his story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter filled with longing, loneliness, and an unquenchable thirst for power. In exile, Napoleon's heart yearned not just for his homeland, but for his family. Napoleon Bonaparte left a lasting legacy, not just as a military genius but as a man of passion. His influence stretched far beyond the battlefields, shaping the course of history and leaving an indelible mark on the world. Stepping beyond his military triumphs, Napoleon's political acumen brought significant changes to France and Europe. His Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive system of laws, laid the bedrock for modern legal systems across the globe. It championed the principles of equality before the law and the protection of civil liberties, and it is still in force in France today, a testament to its enduring relevance. In the realm of education, Napoleon's reforms were equally profound. He understood the importance of an educated populace and established a system of public education in France, a blueprint that many nations would follow. But beyond these grand achievements, Napoleon was also a man of deep passion and sentiment. His love affairs, often recounted through his eloquent love letters, add a layer of complexity to his persona. His relationships with Josephine and later Marie-Louise were filled with ardor, longing, and at times despair. They offer a glimpse into the heart of a man often depicted as a hardened warrior and shrewd politician. His legacy, therefore, is multifaceted, encompassing military strategy, political innovation, and personal relationships. His life and deeds have been scrutinized, celebrated, and criticized, but his influence remains undiminished. His story is one of ambition, power, love, and ultimately, human frailty. In the end, Napoleon Bonaparte was more than a conqueror. He was a visionary who reshaped the world, a lover who immortalized his passions in heartfelt letters, and a man who, despite his extraordinary achievements, experienced the same trials and tribulations as any other. He was a man of his time, and yet, his legacy continues to resonate in our time. Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, a lover, an emperor. His life was a complex tapestry of victories, defeats, and heartbreak. So, was Napoleon Bonaparte just a military genius or a conqueror of hearts? This question has been the central theme of our exploration. We've journeyed through the life of a man who was far more than a conqueror of nations. He was also a conqueror of hearts, a man of intense passion and emotion. Napoleon's military prowess is indisputable. His strategic brilliance on the battlefield led him to victories that reshaped the European continent. He transformed the French army into an unstoppable force, and his innovative tactics are still studied in military academies around the world today. His genius lay not just in his ability to command an army, but also in his understanding of the geopolitical landscape of his time. He knew when to strike, when to hold back, and when to forge alliances. But Napoleon was not just a military leader, he was a man of profound sentiment, a man who loved as fiercely as he fought. His love affairs, as we've seen, were filled with passion and intensity. His letters to Josephine, his first wife, are testament to the depth of his affection. His second marriage to Marie-Louise, a strategic alliance that turned into a genuine bond, further highlights his capacity to love and be loved. The duality of Napoleon's character is what makes him such a fascinating figure. He was a man of war, yes, but also a man of love. He was a leader who understood the importance of power and control, but also recognized the power of the human heart. His ability to balance these two aspects of his personality contributed to his success, both on the battlefield and in his personal life. Napoleon's life was a mix of triumphs and defeats, of love and heartbreak, of power and exile. He was a man who could inspire his soldiers to fight with all their might one moment, and pen a love letter filled with tender affection the next. This blend of harshness and tenderness, of strength and vulnerability, is what sets Napoleon apart from other historical figures. His life serves as a reminder that power and passion are not mutually exclusive. That one can be a leader, a warrior, a strategist, and still be capable of deep, profound love. That one can conquer nations and hearts with equal fervor. In the end, the question isn't whether Napoleon was a military genius or a conqueror of hearts. The question is how he managed to be both, how he balanced the scales of power and passion, of war and love. And perhaps the answer lies in the very complexity of his character, in the multifaceted nature of the man himself. Napoleon Bonaparte, a figure of power, a figure of passion. Perhaps he was not just a military genius but a conqueror of hearts as well.